Now, the former England cricket captain, Michael Vaughan, says that while he cannot recall whether he made a racist comment about South Asian teammates whilst playing for Yorkshire, he nevertheless denies that he would have said it. This came on day 3 of the ECB hearings into Azeem Rafiq's allegations of systemic racism, which has just finished. Let's hear from our reporter James Cole, warning that some of the details in his report may be distressing. James, a long day 3, but just talk us through what has come out of Michael Vaughan's cross-examination today.
Yeah, Michael Vaughan said it was inconceivable that he could have said the words he's alleged to have said back in 2009. Just to remind you, this was ahead of a T20 match against Nottingham, June the 22nd, 2009. He and his teammates were in a huddle, and it is alleged by Azeem Rafiq that Vaughan turned to Rafiq and 3 other players of Asian heritage and said, "There's too many of you lot." Vaughan says he would never have said it, but as you say, he admits he can't remember what he did say in that huddle at that time. It was put to him by the ECB's lawyer, if you can't remember, how can you be sure? And Vaughan said this: "If you go through the history of me as a player, I don't know any time I'd have gone onto the pitch and said something to my teammates that would have put them in a bad state of mind to play cricket. That comment I'm alleged to have said would have put my teammates in a position not to be able to perform to their maximum." The ECB's the ECB's lawyer also brought up some historic tweets from Michael Vaughan, including one from 2010 in which he tweeted, "Why, when you ring 118 118, are all the people who answer foreign? Can't make head nor tail of what they're saying. Annoying." She went on, she said, although Vaughan admitted this was unacceptable, he then pointed out that he'd been on a diversity training course and a leadership course in 2021. But the ECB's lawyer, Mrs. Malkani KC, said, "We're not talking about 2021, we're talking about 2009. The Michael Vaughan in 2009 was the same Michael Vaughan who wrote these tweets and could very well have made that comment. Don't you agree?" Vaughan said no. He was also questioned on why, after the comments became public, that he contacted Rafiq arranging a meeting. It was suggested that that is a strange thing to do if you're innocent. Vaughan said he wanted to meet up with Rafiq and settle things in an old-fashioned way. He said, "I felt it was getting too big, hurting too many people. It's not been easy for anybody." He says, "I don't think this is the right process to deal with a word versus word issue from 14 years ago. So whatever happens, this has had a terrible look on the game, a real bad look on cricket, and how cricket has dealt with this situation." He was then asked, "Why have you not apologised to Rafiq personally?" And Vaughan said, "I can't apologise for something I don't recollect saying."
James, in terms of other cross-examination, Vaughan's legal team earlier in the day questioned a senior ECB figure. So who is Mina Botros and what did he have to say?
Mina Botros was leading the investigation into the racial allegations at Yorkshire. His official title is Director of Legal and Integrity. Now, Richard Stoner, KC, Vaughan's defence lawyer, cross-examined him for a long time and tried to pick a lot of holes in the ECB's investigation. And in fact, he found a lot of holes in the ECB's investigation, and particularly when it comes to the video which has been played over and over during this hearing, which is the live television footage from Sky Sports of that huddle just before the game. And Mr. Stoner pointed out, have you asked either of the umpires whether they heard the comment? And he hadn't. He also asked, have you questioned the camera operator? Have you asked if the camera operator had heard the comment? And he said no, they haven't. And then there was an exchange between Stoner and Botros, and he says, why haven't you spoken to anyone else apart from Rashid and Ajmal? Why haven't you spoken to other people about the allegation? And Botros said, I think that's correct. We didn't feel it was necessary to speak to other people. Stoner says, you didn't speak to the umpires? No. You didn't speak to the Sky cameraman? No. You didn't speak to Mr. Vaughan either in terms of an interview? No. We wrote to him. And Stoner alleges, he says, it's the reality that after the initial meeting with Azeem Rafiq in November 2021, the ECB weren't interested in looking into the matter of other than finding corroborating evidence. The allegation that the ECB's investigation wasn't broad enough because they wanted to get to this end point. Obviously, Bottas denied that, but it also emerged later on this afternoon that of all of the people in that huddle who were close to Vaughan when he said it, there were in total 6 Yorkshire players who have gone on record saying that they didn't hear him say it. That said, a number of those, including Tim Bresnan, Tim Bresnan and Andrew Gale, the former Yorkshire coach, haven't appeared here to give evidence, so there should be less weight carried to their statements, so say the ECB.